We trust the lamb, not the donkey or the elephant.
So what's the difference between what you believe and the leadership of the pro-life movement?
Yeah, so whenever Trump came out and said that during the primary, I think the reason that he said that is because he was kind of new to being pro-life and the pro-life movement. And so he just kind of said whatever seemed logical to him at the time, which is that, yeah, of course, if you're truly going to end abortion, there has to be some kind of penalty for the mother. Otherwise, can't she just do it, unassisted, right? Can't she just continue to do it without there being a penalty? So I think that was his kind of just logical assumption. And then instantly, like you said, we saw the pro-life movement came out and they said, that's not pro-life.
Right.
And to me, that was a big moment. He quickly retracted what he said. He said, well, no, I didn't, I've been informed otherwise. I didn't mean that. But I think what happened there when the pro-life movement, by which we mean the pro-life, pro-life lobby, really came out and said like, hey, that's not pro-life. To me, that was kind of a moment like, wait, it's not pro-life to make it illegal to kill your own child? I mean, isn't it illegal to kill your 1-year-old? Why not illegal to kill your child a month before the child's born? And so to me, that is a big difference between, pro-life and abolitionist that you saw right there. The pro-life movement saying that's not pro-life to make it illegal for mothers to kill their preborn children. It's like, well, no, I do think it should be illegal for mothers to kill their preborn children. And I think a lot of people who call themselves pro-life would agree. And
traditionally, the pro-life movement has said that they've wanted punishment against the doctors, right? And so that's the way they've criminalized it, is to say, let's target doctors, but not mothers, because, again, the traditional arguments that you're pushing back against have said that the mothers are second victims in this. And so we're not going to punish a victim. What's wrong with that? What are people missing who think that way?
I mean, the biggest problem is it's an overgeneralization. That is that there certainly are mothers who are victims, but the laws that the pro-life movement writes says that all mothers are victims, right? So there's not even, I mean, you could have the president of Planned Parenthood herself get an abortion, and the pro-life law says you can't prosecute her. Or you could have an abortionist, abort their own child, and the pro-life law says she can't be prosecuted for that. Right? People who are clearly not victims still can't be prosecuted because of pro-life laws. That's not the case. And again, I think also saying that, writing laws that say all women are victims, because that's what they say, I think it's insulting to women. I think it treats all women as if they are not free moral agents, that they're not strong enough or smart enough to be making their own decisions. I think it treats them as if they're not just as much human beings with a sin nature as anybody else. And so I think it's insulting to women whenever the pro-life movement does that. What abolitionists say, the pro-life movement says all women are victims, right? Abolitionists say some women are victims, some women are not victims, right? Just like homicide of born children, right? Some women are, some women are not. How do we figure out who is? Well, we have a justice system, right? We presume that everyone is a victim, right? That they are innocent. And then you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they're not.
So
all we're saying is that the same thing should apply here.
So in abortion abolition legislation that you've advanced or that you've advocated for, are there any exceptions? So we talk about the rape.
I wouldn't
and the
call them
incest.
exceptions. Yeah, I wouldn't call them exceptions. But
what about the life of the mother? Was that it?
If a mother's forced into it, right? Then she has not intentionally done something, and she's not a criminal. She's under what the law calls duress. Well, then yeah, she shouldn't be prosecuted, and our laws say that, or our bills say that. Or if a mother's a medical emergency, right, and doctors have to treat them both like patients, try to save as many as possible, but then they do what they need to do that may result in the death of a child, but it's not intentional. They're just trying to save as many patients as they can. Well, yeah, clearly no crime has been committed there either, and our bills say that as well. Again, I would not call those exceptions.
Right.
Yeah, those are trying to save lives, and And those are not abortion in that case, I would say.
One of the other differences between your movement and the general pro-life movement, at least if I got it right, is that you're against incrementalism, I think, and the pro-life movement has generally been for it. So let me see if I can say what I think I've always believed, and then help me understand where I might be wrong. Is I've always said I would love to live in a world where there's no abortions, but we're not there. We don't have the votes for that. We don't have the court system to declare that. Therefore, whatever steps we can do to eliminate as many abortions as possible, that's awesome. So if one state has a 20-week ban and they are willing to lower it to 10 weeks, then great. Let's take that. If they're willing to lower it to 6 weeks, great. If we have a waiting periods for abortion, or if some of the legislation calls for doctors to have privileges, admitting privileges at a hospital, and those kind of slow down the number of abortions and limit the number of abortion clinics that can be out there, great, I'm for that. But my understanding is that your movement doesn't believe in incrementalism. It kind of believes in an all or nothing approach. What do I have wrong there?
Hey, I'm Keith. Thanks for watching the video. If you're interested in ending tribalism like we are, we have a podcast and a book. Both are called Truth Over Tribe. You can listen to the podcast on Apple or Spotify, and you can get the book off Amazon. I hope you'll check them out.